Biden impeachment inquiry opens. I think this is the right call because there is ample evidence, credible under oath evidence, that Joe Biden has engaged in criminal behavior. We'll talk about this some more tomorrow. But to me, if you look at Richard Nixon, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, the last three presidents to really find themselves squarely in the midst of impeachment-related inquiries, I don't think there's any doubt that Biden, the allegations against Biden are far more criminally serious, credibly under oath allegations against Biden, far more serious than what has been alleged against either three of those guys. Much discussion surrounding is it a good or bad move from a political process. I'm leaving aside the fact that there is ample evidence that Joe Biden, in my opinion, has been involved in impeachable offenses. In fact, as I have said for some time, if you combine everything Richard Nixon, everything Bill Clinton, and everything Donald Trump was credibly accused under oath of wrongdoing, the evidence that is, I think there's more evidence of Biden's criminal culpability than those three guys combined. Because if you go back and look, it wasn't really Watergate, Nixon's downfall. It was the cover-up surrounding Watergate as much or more of Watergate. Bill Clinton, whether you believe it or not, is worthy of impeachment. Really, again, just lied about whether or not he had an affair with an intern. And that in and of itself, I don't think, was worthy of removing somebody from presidential office. People can agree or disagree. I personally didn't think so. And then Trump, I mean, everything was just completely manufactured about Trump. I mean, whether it was Russia, whether it was the Ukraine phone call, all of it was garbage. What Biden's credibly accused of, being paid millions of dollars by foreign interests to advocate for them, whether it was Burisma, whether it was Chinese interests, whether it was other entities, we know that $20 million at least flowed into the Biden family. 9 different members of Joe Biden's family were paid by foreign interests through shady accounts. And I just got to tell you, I mean, you're telling me that's not worthy of examination? I just don't think it's remotely difficult. And we talk a lot about whether or not impeachment is justified. I think it is. Okay, let's talk about the political ramifications, though. How does this play politically? If you believe, as I do, that there is a legal justification to begin the impeachment inquiry and that there is sufficient evidence of criminal culpability on Joe Biden's behalf, that you need to examine this, which I do, what are the political ramifications of impeachment? To me, the most significant is Biden is slowly, despite the fact that the New York Times, the Washington Post, ABC, NBC, CBS, the MSNBC and CNN are by and large still providing cover for Joe Biden. Slowly, the American public is becoming aware of just how much criminal allegations, credible criminal allegations, there are against Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. And I think it's in the most recent CNN poll, 61% of Americans believe that Joe Biden was involved in Hunter Biden's business. 42% of people believe that he engaged in criminal behavior. I think that's going to grow through impeachment because what this forces, and I think this is the most consequential element of the impeachment from a political process. What it forces is it forces the media to cover this. You can't just bury your head in the sand and pretend that this is a made-up story, which is what much of the left-wing media has tried to do for years. What did they tell you? That the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. They refused to acknowledge or even allow a story surrounding the Hunter Biden laptop to be shared. They tried to discredit all of the allegations directly tying to Joe Biden as if they were illegitimate because they said it was all Russian disinformation. Now they are slowly acknowledging, oh, guess what? The FBI has signed off on it. The laptop is real. And the laptop is real. That means all of the evidence on the laptop is real, as the FBI has known since at least December of 2019. And the massive cover-up that went on to help rig the election for Joe Biden, in my opinion, actually came from the FBI in particular, because they went and talked to all of these social media companies and told them that they refused to acknowledge that the laptop was real. They also helped to seed the idea that led to the 51 intelligence agents putting out the statement that said that the Hunter Biden laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. Okay, why does all this matter? You may well be familiar with all of this story that I just laid out. Huge percentages of people aren't. And if you use the January 6th hearings as a precedent, there were people who were influenced by the January 6th hearings, even though all Democrats did was rehash the public information that was already out there when they put it in prime time, and when many different media outlets were forced to cover it as a result. Then the coverage helped Democrats in the 2022 election. It helped with their overall narrative. It helped with their overall story. The reason why I believe the same will be true for Republicans as it pertains to Joe Biden is there's still lots of people who don't know this story at all. You know, according to some of the most recent polling I saw, majority of Democrats still believe the Hunter Biden laptop is Russian disinformation. They believe all of the Democrat lies about the Hunter Biden laptop. And so shining a spotlight on this Biden crime family corruption, I believe, is likely to create more of a mushroom cloud that makes it that much more difficult for them to ignore as it pertains to surrounding this incident. So that is what I would point to and say this is the most consequential aspect of this incident, is not that necessarily new information might emerge, although it very well might. You might have more IRS agents. You might have more FBI agents. You might have more witnesses coming forward as this story develops to provide more credence to the allegations of criminality on behalf of the Bidens. But even if that doesn't happen, from a political perspective, this is going to shine a bright light on a story that too many in the media still pretend doesn't exist and that they haven't been willing to cover. And that is why I think politically this is the right move. It also politically is going to eliminate, to a large degree, I think, the idea that, oh, Donald Trump is super corrupt and Joe Biden is some kind of paragon of virtue. I think a lot of people are going to say, yeah, all these politicians kind of roll around in the mud a lot, and they're not going to be arguing, oh, this is like Biden, if you want there to be no tinge of impropriety, you can pick Biden. He's going to make America pure again. Yeah, that's not true. Joe Biden is, I think, dirtier than Donald Trump is as this data continues to come out, and that's why I think the impeachment hearings are so important from a political perspective.